This time on 585 Garage, we build the Christmas Kia in just 2.5 weeks. It was a lot of pain, anguish, sleepless nights, and bloody knuckles for, well, at least one of us. And it was a lot of fun. You can watch all of that now. Oh, I hate it so much. That hurt. I caught the corner of that right on my knee. Oh, that didn't feel great.
Good Christmas Kia.
Joe told me before we left, hey, make sure you unplug the battery so it doesn't die. I didn't listen. All right, so what we're gonna do, Cody disconnected the positive wire from the battery. It's hooked up to the truck and we're gonna try that. Dude, it's bananas. Listen to it. Walmart batteries are good enough for Cletus McFarland, they're good enough for us. That's an actual fact. When we were down in Florida last February, we saw his Corvette called Leroy, and it has a Walmart battery in it. So, oh, we're driving the Kia! Woo! Oh, no power steering, I forgot about that. This thing is so rad. I love it. We are fixing the brakes today. We are absolutely fixing the brakes today. Harold, come on. Make sure you're inside. Harold the cat. Woo! Say hi to everyone, Harold. So we have laid out here all the parts we're gonna put on this vehicle. We have a new window regulator. As you guys remember, we broke it. So we're gonna replace that. We have power steering lines. We have upper and lower radiator hoses. Don't know if those are gonna go on. We do have the accessory drive belts. We just found out that these support struts for this liftgate that I bought are the wrong style and will need to be replaced with new ones, and then those new ones will go on. We have brakes. We have for the front and the back. We also have wheel cylinders for the rear drum brakes. We have a new blower motor, a new resistor, a bunch of goodies here. And this is everything that it needs. However, you can't stop there when you're buying parts. So we have some stuff that we wanted. And this stuff is gonna really transform the way this thing looks. This bumper I bought used off a marketplace. I got a really good deal on it. It came with these rollers, these beefy shackles, and a flip up and down license plate, which is the real reason I bought it, because those are hard to find. So now that I have that stuff situated, I also have a roof rack, and believe it or not, I had this on, you heard us mention it last time, I had this on a golf cart project that I had, which was kind of bananas. And when we bought this, I immediately knew that's where this thing needed to live long term. We're gonna put a light bar on the front of it. Maybe we'll put a couple on the back, and it's gonna be really sweet. But right now, we're gonna do the thing that we wanted to do the most to improve the way this thing looks. So we're gonna slap on this roof rack. So we're gonna get the camera set up so that way you guys can see it too. And Cody and I are gonna lift that thing on there. So what we're doing now, you can see that this is a locking lug nut, and in no place on the vehicle or in it or anything like that did we find a locking cap that goes in there. So we're gonna go with the tried and true, break it on there. And then you're gonna take your your breaker bar. Oh, this is more difficult than the other one. Ooh, that's squishy. Ugh. There. Take that off. And you can spin your locked lug nut the rest of the way off. You go over to the bench vise. You set the socket on top of the jaws, and then as you... I am so saddened that I got that on film because I know that really hurt, but it's kind of funny.
I hit my thumb. Like the trailer hitch.
You kept your composure. I'm very proud of you. Try again.
Try again.
Socket. Now we take our socket. Cody's in a lot of pain now. He's in a lot of pain. So we're just gonna do that, and we're gonna repeat it on, we already did the both fronts, we just did the second front, so I'm gonna do both backs, and then we'll get the wheels off of here, we'll get the brakes off, and we'll see what we're working with. Sweet.
Just taking these off so that this cover can come off so we can get to the brake assembly for the rear. Is that what you wanted? Okay. That's what we're doing. You know what? I keep used to like that.
There's a little bit of a time gap in between when we saw you last and now. During that time, we started to take the wheels and tires off of it. Pretty much all the lines from the firewall forward have to be replaced. There is one line that needs to be replaced on the axle, but everything else is in really good shape. So because of how much time that's gonna take and how much other things we need to do to this, by the time we leave, which is in like 2 weeks, which is an insanely short amount of time, we're actually gonna get this thing up to the 585 garage shop, which is about 45 minutes north of here, which is gonna save us a lot of time and travel and will allow us to really work on it during the week. Because coming down here, working late and then going home to work our day jobs is just going to be too difficult. So we're going to get that up there so that way we can try and get this thing out of here on time. So I have Dad with me here today.
Hello.
Cody's over there squatting, putting the hubcaps on. And we're going to get this thing back under its own weight, and we're just going to get it on my trailer, bring it up north. But what I did do while you guys weren't with me, I installed the new window regulator that we broke in this. So now the window goes up and down, which is awesome. And hopefully it won't smell so bad inside once we add some air fresheners and start getting it a little less grungy. So we're gonna get these wheels on and get this thing down, get it all packed up, all our spare parts and everything, and we'll get it on the trailer and get it up north. So we will probably throw this on a time lapse and rock and roll. So one thing that we do have to do before we can get this out of here is we noticed that, and I think we noted, I think we told you guys when we were trying to get this thing up and running outside that we noticed that this terminal is cracked, which is not really giving us very good electronic feed to the vehicle. So I bought a new terminal and a terminal cutoff, so that way in the event of anything going on, you can just flip it and turn the vehicle off. So we're trying to figure out the way best to do this without cutting too much wire back, because obviously if you do that and then you have to add wire, it just becomes a big mess, and I really don't want to deal with all that fallout. So we're just trying to figure out the best way to do it. So you guys just saw Cody try to pull up on this, and the new terminal that I just bought disappeared into the darkness down there, and we did not hear it hit the ground. I have a feeling we're going to be putting the Kia back up in the air to find it. There you go.
I was like, what's the point of having a disconnect if it doesn't work?
So there it is, on the trailer, no mishaps, the first time the right way. Who would have thought that? And what was really cool, because I had it in 4 low, I just left it in gear and it walked itself all the way up that. I didn't even have to touch the throttle, which is awesome, which tells me this thing's gonna be pretty good, just wheeling around slow and, you know, being technical with everything. So I'm gonna get it strapped down, and oh man, I'm so excited. We got the Kia back to the shop. Got Dad. Cody's in the Kia. It's the first time he's ever driven it, and it has no brakes, and it's probably gonna be pretty funny. Trucks here. We have our project cars outside because this one is way more important. As you can see, we also got the Vega out. Trans Am's going all the way in the corner. Caprice is going in the middle of the shop. Vega going to the house for a little while anyways, until we decide that we might want to work on it. Maybe. All right, now the moment you all have been waiting for. Cody Hobbs driving the Christmas Kia. Whenever you're ready, sir. You have no brakes. Whatever happens is 100% on you. Sold as is, where is. You don't even have a 5-foot or 3-minute warranty. Can't see. That means you have no problems. That was really lackluster. Cody panicked and hit park before neutral. You gotta go neutral, let it slow down, then park. Whoops. All right. I suppose back that up next to the Trans Am and we'll push the Vega on. Okay. Now, Vega on the trailer. Oh, I'm gonna miss that sound. I'm gonna do a rev limiter thing for you guys, just because I miss it. Do that again. Are we using
For those
that?
of you wondering at home, no, we're not sure when we're gonna continue with the Vega at this point. Soon, maybe.
We will continue on it, we just don't know when, right?
Right.
Right, okay.
I've been hearing that for years.
Hey, don't be mean.
Wow, I'm just saying.
You know what? He's driven this farther than you've driven your car.
I'm just saying.
We towed this car from Wellsville all the way to Mount Morris, me and my buddy Mark, with just a tow rope,
In what?
in this kind of weather.
Even Cody and I are not that dumb. Which means, generationally, we become more intelligent, but maybe not as such. And I believe also using hand signals too, right?
Yeah.
Because no cell phones.
And no heat.
And no heat.
Was that obviously before you built the car?
I ripped up the windshield wipers.
That was you picking it up? That was when you picked the car up? No.
Watch the bottom of the door. Barn find. It's a bar find.
That's a definite find.
It's something. You know what's funny? I'm not saying anything against the guy that found it, but it was his barn. But he wrote barn find. I found it.
So John, if you happen to be watching this episode of 585 Garage, you're more than welcome to laugh.
Why do we even roll down the windows in the first place? Oh yeah.
The other side. Don't jack it too much, you might crack the windshield.
So I'm gonna bring the Trans Am in, and it's been so long since I've heard the rev limiter. I'm gonna do it for you guys.
Well, don't rev it up so high that you blow the motor. I don't have to push another car in the garage.
I make absolutely no promise.
Smell like the inside of a muffler. I'm getting out of here.
It sounds good inside.
Go, watch your engine stick. There you go.
I couldn't see that low in my rear.
The smoke.
It's dying. We'll have to get one of those cardboards to put underneath it. It's definitely gonna leak oil now.
Watch that seat.
I got it. I really miss this car. This is where it gets embarrassing, which I assume is probably why there's a camera pointed at me. Oh, Jesus. Just like Bo and Luke Duke.
You look more like Daisy.
Those are very expensive headlights that I'm on. Fuck. And you too can do it just that easy. To drive the Kia. Oh boy. Ooh, somebody's got a green excavator over there. Oh, it is overheating. Not good. That's not good. The gauge says it's fine. Goodness, that's annoying. Oh. Use the windshield wipers that don't work. How do you... Window works. I cannot see a thing.
Just keep coming straight.
Tell me when.
A little more. A little more. When?
Okay.
Not leaking now.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay. I think this may have bit the dust. Because if it was leaking out of the radiator, it would have been from the center. This is definitely wet over here. And it's definitely got green coolant in it. Great. It has been an absolute minute since you guys have seen the Kia. We got Matt with us today. Cody has been helping me a lot. To the point where we're just coming here after work, banging stuff out, not even worried about the camera because there's a lot of just like silly things we've been doing that are just kind of boring. Speaking of that, Matt's doing all of our brake lines with me today. It's gonna be a riot. Dad is tackling the rear brakes because, well, they're antiquated, and so we figured the best person for the job is an individual that may be antiquated. These are just not good.
This one shoe is missing the pad completely.
So I have new pads. We painted the drums. We got them all painted up nicely nice. We also painted the front calipers, which looks pretty good. Keeping with the theme of the vehicle, some things are gonna go back to black at some point, but not like super important for what we're doing right now. But we did do one thing. We put a light bar on it. Pretty stoked about that. I had to fight with the power steering lines. I had to fight with the power steering lines. I don't know if you guys know anything about these cars, but the power steering lines suck to do. So I spent probably more time than I should have on that. And we're just going through some things we did find. Matt just pointed out that our front drive shaft has a nice big rot hole in it. And all the metal on it is really soft on the slip yoke. So we're gonna have to scramble. It's Saturday now. We have to leave Friday morning next week. So we have some time, hopefully local drive shaft shop that did the drive shaft for Hiccup when we went to Florida. Same company, Fleet Pride, they're awesome. I hope that they're able to make a new one for me post haste and they can knock it out in a couple days. While they're doing super high-end mechanical stuff, I'm doing stuff that is like, I guess you could call it safety related. I am gonna buff the front headlights. I'm gonna wet sand them first, then I'm gonna buff them so we can see. I know you guys are like, oh, you have the light bar. Well, you can't use the light bar really on main roads. So I'm doing that. We have a blower motor that needs to go in the vehicle hopefully today. And then we're gonna spend pretty much the rest of the time testing it, making sure the brakes work, getting the front bumper mounted, getting the winch mounted. I need to buy a battery. We're gonna do an oil change. And I'm sure there's a lot more on the list that I'm not even thinking about right now. So all the brake lines are done. Everything went well. However, there is one line that's leaking. Matt and I aren't really that surprised. I don't want to even say annoyed because we totally expected that to happen. In fact, we expected every single thing that we did to not go right. So having just one leak, totally cool with that. So we're starving. We've been going pretty much all day. We're ready to get something to eat. So we're gonna run out and grab something really quick. After we're done eating, we're gonna tear back into that line. We're gonna see what it needs, see what it wants, do that, and then bleed the brakes. And once we do that, then we could, I guess, fire it up and do some other check. Oh no, we were gonna do the blower motor first, right?
Yeah. Well,
We're gonna do the blower motor, then we'll fire it up and bleed the power steering system. So far, everything's been going really good. So we've spent the last 2 hours messing with that one fitting, and we've learned that the parts store brake flare tool can be difficult to work with. The fitting's not leaking anymore. We're now officially bleeding the brakes, which means I get to Oh, is the thing on? Is the cap on? Cap's on? Okay, so that means I get to pump up the jam, pump it up. I don't know, you guys will have to do the rest of the words, I don't know. It's got a pedal now. And we'll middle already, which is fantastic. And we've only done one line. We've only done the right rear, which generally, I think you would agree, anyone that really has an idea, gotta switch feet here, would say bleed the right rear first. It's the longest line in the vehicle, and if you can get that, doing the left rear is pretty easy, and then the fronts are just dumb after that. I'm holding, so dude, I can't believe how good of a pedal that has already. That's crazy. I know. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Holding. Pedal went away on the floor.
What up?
So when you're bleeding brakes, you got to kind of know who you're working with. Matt and I have a little bit of a system. When I'm holding the pedal, I'll say holding. He'll crack it. When he's done, he'll say pump. Holding.
Pump it up.
See? And if you do that and have it down with the other friend that you're working with, bleeding brakes is really easy. It's just monotonous and it hurts the legs. But I've got big legs, so I'm doing that. He's nimble, he's doing the bleeding. And we'll be good. Holding. That sounded like just one air pocket.
Yeah. Pump it up.
So we're doing pretty good. We're just gonna be bleeding brakes, and that'll be pretty much the rest of our night. Hold it. Floor.
Pump it up.
Alright, so here's the deal. Most of the time you guys see me on the blooper reel, whatever, but I'm gonna take my moment to bash Joe. So Joe is also an idiot. He went to go close this gate for the spare tire, and when he left it actuated, he left the lever pulled to close it, and this latch, I don't know if you can see because of the light. Let me see. And the grease that he sprayed to then cover up his mistake. This latch right here is supposed to be behind this. And when he left it open, somehow it jumped. So now, to fix this, we have to waste time and pull this tire off and then pull this off.
Must be the man of the hour.
So we can't go anywhere. We can't go anywhere until this is fixed. Unless we want natural AC in the middle of winter.
We don't.
So
Not even a little bit.
So now we have to waste time when we already have other stuff to do. So this is so you guys see the bloopers. That's not going to make the blooper reel.
Oh, it's not a blooper. This is like a full-on. This is making the cut.
Yeah.
So while I did this to Cody, I'm gonna go up front and start welding a bumper. We're gonna let Cody handle this.
Which is sucks because I did say that I wanted to help on that.
We'll need two hands. I'll need a hand at least putting it on.
This was a lot easier to fix than it should have been. There's supposed to be 4 nuts here, but there's 3. It's gonna stay 3, whatever. This pops off real quick, pull it. While I was here, I put one of these clamps on because zip ties in the cold, not gonna work. And I made a little T-handle out of a cotter key because when your hands are cold trying to grab that little nip, not gonna work. That, much easier. So, is it hacky? Yeah. Is it better than what we got? Yeah. Are we short on time? Yes. So, that's what we got. That was really easy. And I'm gonna go bother Joe. What are you working on?
I am working on the bumper mounts. So this is a Jeep bumper off of an 18 Jeep Cherokee and I bought it for two reasons. One, it looks way better than whatever was on the front of this thing that you guys saw in the last episode. Two, it's got this fancy winch mount. Three, the winch rollers were already attached to it, so I don't have to worry about it. And four, I can put the license plate on this and fold it down. As well as we can mount lights here. It's got fog light bezels in the bumper, so we can add lights later. Plus, it's way beefier than that is. Plus, it allows us to mount the winch for next weekend.
Yeah.
We mapped out the bolt holes on the bumper. We scribed them on one piece, and we figure instead of drilling holes twice, I'm just gonna tack these pieces together really quick, just so they don't move around, and we're gonna drill all 4 holes on both pieces at the same time. So I'm gonna do that. Hopefully my helmet hasn't died and will auto darken the second I go to tack this, so I don't kill myself. Wow, holy shit. Missed that.
Let me do the other side.
You want to do the other side?
Yeah.
So I've been working really hard on getting this bumper mounted up, figuring out all the angles and everything, so that way this thing just bolts in. We're not going to be able to run a front grill, and it is actually a pretty good thing that I took this off, because as I was doing a little bit of work over here on this frame rail, I noticed a wet spot. I was like, oh no, because right above that is the trans cooler, and it's leaking, which means at 1 o'clock the day before we're supposed to go, I still have to pack myself, pack the car, pack the truck, pack a lot of stuff. I have like 3 or 4 swipes on the iPhone worth of things I need to pack, and now I have to add a trans cooler to the mix. But I'm thinking I could probably put it right here if I get one that's the right size. So right there next to the fan, and there's a clutch fan in the back here. So I'm thinking that's gonna be the move. I knew that I had to go to the parts store anyway, because we got this crazy 800 cold cranking amp battery for this thing, and I need another side post Johnson with these little nuts, so that way I can make the light bar work with our attachments. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Alrighty, we finished it. I'm so sorry we didn't show you really any of it once it got back up here. Our list was so long. I have been here probably 10 nights in a row till at least midnight. Probably, if anything, later than that. For example, right now, it's 1:30 and I still have to pack for this thing. I still have to finish packing the car, and I have to go to Wegmans because I'm gonna want to eat. So I'm probably not sleeping tonight. It is what it is. Once I get into camp tomorrow, I'll probably take a nap. So this thing, I can't even get over it. Like, this thing is just the most badass little off-roader. We added the winch bumper. The winch actually works. Oh, this is the dark side. You guys can't really see much. We got the roof rack on there. Oh yeah. By the way, there's a little party piece with that. Boom! That thing works. That thing is the shiz. So I can't wait to see what that does at night off-road. It's gonna be awesome. Who knows if we're gonna actually be out that late? Who knows? I don't know. I've never done the Gambler. This is why we built it. I'm really excited. I think it'll be a great time. But the downside to working this hard, my shop is just destroyed. So after this thing, I'm probably gonna need a whole day in here just to like clean up, sweep, put crap away, and put things where they belong. Surprisingly, we got everything done on time. It was at the last minute, I will admit, but we got everything done on time to go to the Gambler. It was our first. It was a lot of fun, but if you guys want to see that part of the episode, you're gonna have to wait until the second Saturday in February. I know, I'm sorry for the wait, but I promise it'll be worth it. We had a lot of fun, and I think you guys will definitely see that. So until then, we'll see you next time on 585 Garage.
And I'm probably filming myself right now. Oh, good.
12 volts, Cody. You're an electrician. You know it's not going to kill you.
Intruder.
How many of you guys? How many of you guys, when you first started working on a vehicle, your dad's like, "Oh yeah, you can touch both terminals. It'll be fine." The first time I did it, he went and did like the taser right in my ribs. I jumped like a foot. This book, it was called. Tyler, that's not making the cut.
Thought it was. Really?
What?
I'm filming. Okay, so this was actually a lot easier to fix.
Ooh, that sounded nasty.
Pump it up.